Hello, this is June Collier, your corporate network marketer. And today I would like to chat with you about saving up for an emergency fund. This is actually the first step to creating wealth. I have studied many experts on the subject of personal finances to include my two favorites, the late Larry Burkett and Mr. Dave Ramsey. They all advise that the first step to financial freedom is to start an emergency fund. Dave Ramsey recommends $1,000 unless you earn less than $20,000 a year, at which he then recommends $500. My mentor, Mr. Ivey Stokes, advises that you really should have about $5,000 set aside as an emergency fund in today's economy. Mr. Stokes is the founder of a personal financial literacy company called myEcon. Most people place their emergency fund in a bank savings account, which is a cash equivalent type of investment. Cash equivalents are low risk, low return investments that have high liquidity. This simply means that your chances of losing your money is very slim. Yet, you will also not earn much in return as an investment. The liquidity simply means you can easily convert your investment into cash and do so quickly. Before we go into any further details about where to place your emergency fund, I want to take a quick moment to talk about the purchasing power of the dollar. The US dollar has historically dropped in value over time due to inflation. Inflation has averaged 3% for many years. As you will see in this diagram, a $1 bill in 1913 would have the same purchasing power of a nickel in 2013. A better way to understand this, what cost $1 today would have cost 5 cents in 1913. So in order to maintain its value, that 1913 $1 bill would have had to grow to $20 to maintain the same purchasing power. Now, what does this have to do with your emergency fund or any amount of money that you're saving and hoping to grow for the future? You should understand that inflation is working against you. And if you're not at least earning the amount of inflation on your money, then you're losing money. Don't be tricked into thinking that because you put $1,000 in the bank account and 12 months later you actually made $1.20 on that money that you actually made money. At 3% inflation, you would need to earn $30 in interest to have the same purchasing power as you did the year prior. So if we go back to the savings rate of 0.01%, that means that your $1,000 sitting in that savings account will have earned $1.20, while inflation would have risen by $30. You're $28.80 short. What I'm about to share with you now is where I have parked my emergency fund to do a better job at handling inflation. When investing your money, there are no guarantees. However, with knowledge, you can do a great job at minimizing the risk on your principal. I have opened an account with T. Rowe Price, where I have decided to park $5,000 in emergency fund money, and I'm going to park that into a municipal bond mutual fund. For tax advantages, I decided to go with an in-state municipal bond mutual fund. Since I live in Georgia, I went with the Georgia Tax-Free Municipal Bond Mutual Fund, ticker symbol GTFBX. The current market value of my holdings for this particular bond mutual fund is $5,023 as of July 26, 2015. My risk reward potential is slightly left to moderate. This is my emergency fund, so I don't want much risk. I simply want to stay in pace with inflation. If we scroll down, we can see my personal performance with this bond mutual fund. I currently have a return of 0.65%, which beats most bank savings accounts. In my previous video, you saw bank rates of 0.01 and 0.03%. I might also note that I've only been in this bond mutual fund for less than a month. If I scroll further, my first purchase was July 6, and I had 2 additional purchases after that. Back at the top of the page, let's look deeper into this bond mutual fund. It has a Morningstar rating of 4 stars for the last 10 years. Since inception, it has averaged 5.09% rate of return and a 1-year return average of 3.52%. I use 3% as my personal inflation stick to measure against, so this bond has averaged above that 3%. Let's take a look at this bond's objectives. Invest at least 80% of net assets in Georgia municipal bonds. The next line was very important to me. Georgia taxpayers who, because of their tax bracket, can benefit from income that's exempt from federal and Georgia state income taxes, not appropriate for tax-deferred retirement plans such as IRAs. Some income may be subject to the federal alternative minimum tax. Income earned by non-Georgia residents will be subject to applicable state and local taxes. So since I live in the state of Georgia, I will not have to pay any federal or state income taxes on any of the money earned in this bond fund. This was an added plus because if you're in the 25% tax bracket or higher, those taxes can diminish your return rate and possibly drop you below your personal measure of inflation. There are many municipal bonds in other states that offer this tax-free income feature. Make sure you read the risk versus reward potential. It gives you a lot of detail about what could possibly happen. Let's click on the composition tab. This is going to show us what municipalities have borrowed money that are part of this fund's portfolio. Initially, you will see the 10 largest holdings. Here we see Atlanta, Georgia Airport revenue, Atlanta, Georgia water and wastewater revenue, Augusta, Georgia water and sewer revenue, Fulton County, Georgia Catholic Health, Georgia DeKalb Private Hospital Child Health, Georgia Private College Emory University. So as you can see, there are county water companies, hospitals, and even educational institutions. If you wish to see the full portfolio, you can click View the Complete Portfolio of Investments. Let's now take a look at management. Here you will find the name of the fund manager and his or her educational background. The final thing that we're going to look at is expenses. Here we see that this is a no-load fund, which means there's no transaction cost to purchase a no-load fund. All of the money invested is working for the investor. Finally, let's take a look at the account minimums. It requires a minimum of $2,500 to open this account. If you want to add to your fund, you can do so at $100 a deposit. Having an emergency fund is critical to your wealth building success. Many people place their emergency fund in a bank account, receiving less than ideal interest. We call these retail returns. By using something like a municipal bond mutual fund, you can manage the risk while still getting a return that will more than likely keep in track with the average inflation rate of 3%. To learn more about your options and how to make better money choices, contact me, June Collier, at 678-837-JUNE. That's 678-837-5863. Our company is helping thousands of Americans discover the power of how to make their money work for them, as well as how to create a secondary income by sharing this knowledge with their friends and family. This is June Collier, and thank you for watching.